how you doing? It's Jeff Sinker from SkypeGuitarLessonsOnline.com. Yes, I'm a glutton for punishment, but I've got to do this. Achilles Last Stand by Led Zeppelin. Previously, I looked at the guitar solo and I got a really good response from a lot of subscribers, got some real nice comments. So I thought, that's it. I'm going to go and cover the main guitar parts from this song. Yes, there's an awful lot of guitar overdubs on this. So I'm going to feature as many as I can through the lesson. Obviously, I'm looking at time restraints, etc. But I just know you're going to enjoy learning to play this just classic song by Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page on the guitar. If you're the first time you've been to this site, why don't you take the time to subscribe, click on that bell, then you'll be notified whenever I'm posting any new lessons, as if I've got the energy after this one. Subscribers, really appreciate your support, and I do hope you're going to enjoy this lesson as much as I'm enjoying recording this for you. Anyway, enough of me babbling on. Let's get into this and let's learn how to play Achilles Last Stand. So don't go away.
Preview.
So we start this off on an E9 chord, and we're going to play open E, 2 on the A, 4 on the D, open G, and then we play B3. Then we got this little run down that's repeated through this riff, which is 2 on the high E, open E, 3 on the B, open B, and open G. And then it changes to an F sharp minor, which is 2 on the E, 4 on the A, 4 on the D, using the bar for the 2 on the G, and my second finger pulls in 3 on the B. And we've got that riff again. Back to the original. And we repeat that, and he's doing it 6 times. Now on the last one, when we go to the F sharp minor, there's a slight variation. So we're coming out of this line. And this time we're going to play this line. And what we're doing there is 2 on the E, 4 on the A, we skip across and we play 2 on the G, and then we've got open B and open E. Right, now let's move into, obviously you got this part where John Bonham hits the drum, bang, and we're into the main intro riff. So let's go and have a look at that. This riff is quite a tricky little riff, this. Jimmy Page just come up with some great little kind of lines over these pentatonics. And we start off with this little slide down, which he's playing from 9 on the high E, and then you got 10 on the B and 11 on the G string, and we're playing. So we slide down 2 frets and then strum. And then we've got this great riff that he plays. It's on the 7th fret on the D string, and we've got this. Now that's played in slow time, so we're getting 3 on the 7. And then we've got 7, 8, 9. And then back for 2 7s. Moving string to 7 on the A. Then we hit an O open E. And then we've got this chord there, it's a D chord that he's playing. We were just holding down 7 on the D, 7 on the G, and 7 on the B. hits an open E again, and then you got the riff. Now that riff really did take some doing. I was listening to it, it's such a great riff. Take your time on that one, listening to it if you want, play the tempo a little bit slower, just to get that whole feel on that riff. So that's your opening riff, and now you do play that quite a few times in this song as well. But let's look at the main verse section. So let me just play it through and then I'll break it down. This part is probably one of the easiest parts of the whole song. We're just playing over this open E drone. So we got this E, and then we play them two chords that we did in that previous riff. So we're playing 9, E, B10 and G11. Slide down and play it. Back to the open E, and we've got this chord here. Again, it's based on a D, but we're holding down with our first finger 5 on the high E, and then we've got 7B, 7G and 7D. Now we hit the E, and then we strum down, and then we pull up. On the downstroke, don't play the high E, because we won't hear that chime between the two. And then bang. Letting that E ring out. Now that is played through the verses. Now there are some lead little fills over the top of that, and I'll look at some of these a little bit later on, but I just want to kind of keep motoring on with the song. So that's how you would play the main verse section. Let's look at what I will call riff number 2. I'll play it through, then I'll break it down. What we're doing there, we're starting, these are all double stops, and they're all played on the D and the G string. So we're going to start off on 9, and then we go to 7, 8, 9. And now we play the same thing again here, this 7, 8, 9. We play it though as 16ths. So we get back to 7. So it's 9, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 7, 9, 10. Repeat. And it repeats that twice. And then we're into the section, which again, another great piece from Page here. It's, let's term it the staircase, and you'll see why. So let's break this down note by note. It starts on D5 to A7, D7, A9, D10, D9, A10, D10, A12, D12, D14. Move across the strings, and we're going to play on the G and the D string, and we play G9, D10, G11 to D12, G12 to D14, G14 to D16, moving up to G16 to D17, and then we have got G17 to D19, and we move all the way back down to the G4 to D5, G5 to D7, G7 to D9, and we pick up what we've been playing before on the previous line, so we're doing a G9 to D10, G11 to a D12, G12, D14, G14 to D16, G16 to a D17. Then we have got G17 to D19, G19 to a D21, and then we finish it off with this triple that we're playing through all three strings on the G and the B and the high E. We're doing a 14 to a 12. And that is known as the staircase. So let's look at the bridge section. I'll play it through and then I'll break it down. So we start off on 2 on the D, and we're going to be playing G and B after as open string. Moving up to 4, to 5 on the D, 7, and then we've got on the D, we go back to the D5, and we're going to play D to the G open, to 4 on the D. Then we've got to slide down, and then we move on to this part, which is 3 on the A string, going across to open G, 3 on the B, and then we've got this little passage where we got 2 on the high E, open E, to 3 on the B. So far we've got this. And then we've got this little line here, which is going to be 3 on the open, 3 on the E, sorry, 2 on the E, open E, E, 3 on the B, open G, back to 3 on the B, and then 2 open Gs. Now from that section we go into this kind of marching stomp feel. So I'll play it through and then I'll break it down for you. Now let's look at this tempo change where we got this marching part. I'll play it through and then we'll break it down. What we're doing now, we're playing across, it's like an E minor. So we're playing 7 on the high E, 8 on the B, and 9 on the G. And we play. And then we're going to lift our finger up, so it's probably best to double stop on the 7 on the B and the 7 on the high E. Then you can get, be lifted up on that last one. Then we get, and we're going to do a double stop on G7 and B7. Then we move up to a C major chord, so we're playing 8 on the high E, 8 on the B, and 9 on the G. And we drop our little finger in on 10th on the high E. Then we play that C7 as C chord, and then that double stop on the G, on G7 and B7, and then repeat. Now, believe it or not, we have actually covered at this point all of the main rhythm elements of the song. Now you're probably, oh no, there's all these variations that he's playing. But really everything is based round that verse section. So you've either got that main introduction with the riff, that section, or we have got the main. And then, of course, the staircase run and the little riff. That part there. Now, everything else from this point in are guitar lines that Jimmy Page put together. But, really, if you've got this far, you have got all of the rhythm guitar sections that are played, because now what's happening is we're getting a build-up of overdubbed guitar lines that Jimmy Page used for this song. So what we're going to do now is look at the various fills that Jimmy Page put into this song. Right, where we are at the moment in the song, we've gone from the guitar solo, we have played the staircase riff which exits the guitar solo, and then we're back into a normal verse. Now over that verse we have this riff. So I'll play it and then I'll break it down. Now he plays that twice. What we're doing there, we are playing through 12 on the B, 12 on the G, to 14 on the D. Then we roll over, or we can drop our third finger in to 14 on the G. And then we go down to 11. And then we got a bend. So we get. So the riff starts off on a B string to a G. So we start the riff off on B12 to G12 to D14. Then we roll over the finger, or we can play with our third finger on G14 to G11 to D12. So far. Then we got that line there, which is from 12 on the G. As we come out of that, so we're doing 12, 11, 12, full tone bend, putting that together. Then we go back to that riff that we just played, which is on B12, G12, and to D14, and then we move down and we're picking up this familiar pattern here of 10 on the B, 11 on the G, 12 on the D, and then we roll the finger to pick up 12 G. Back onto 11, so again. Put that together. Finishing on that G11. Now he plays that twice. Then we go into what we call riff number, I know we've looked at riff number 2, so we'll call this solo riff number 2. Now what we're playing there, it's kind of quick picking action here. Again, another clever little way of Jimmy Page using these, picking across the pentatonics and arpeggio shapes. We are playing familiar shape that we just played before, but he's doing a double pick on the B12, double pick on the 12, on the G, and then one on the 4. And then we got this little line on the B, which is across B12 and B13. And we repeat. Then we pick up the same arpeggio that we played on the previous line, and it's the same pattern on the picking. And this time it's B10 to B12. And we repeat that. So we've got that fill going on as well. Okay, let's look at the next one, which is one of my favourite ones because he plays along with Robert Plant on the vocals. So again, I'll just play this and break it down for you. Okay, and of course he plays that a number of times when he's singing along with Robert there. I should say playing along there with Robert. So, we are playing on the A, a little chromatic run, so it's A7, A8, A9, crossing over to D7, to D9, and then we've got this on the G string, which is 9, 7, 9. And then the return reply on this, same riff, and then we do a G7, D9, D7, and finishing back on the A9. And that continues for that section, as I said, where he's playing, where Robert Plant is singing it as. Well, we have covered the vast majority of licks for this song. Most of them that I've done are the standout licks. I know there's a few that I haven't covered, but I've done the bulk of them. So, I hope you've enjoyed it. That's really all I can say. It always was going to be a challenge, but I thought I've got to do this. Well, I am going to let you go now. So, this is Jeff Sinker from SkypeGuitarLessonsOnline.com. Thanks for your company. Always appreciate it. And I look forward to again seeing you very, very soon. Until then, goodbye.